Hi, I'm Dr. Gaby Cora, and welcome to my show, Dr. Gaby's Take, Make Life Interesting. What are you seeing from this other perspective? We tend to be pretty techy at home, and we had wireless connections at home before anyone would have had them individually. When only businesses had Wi-Fi, we had Wi-Fi at home. So what we've seen, my husband and I, with our kids as they've grown, is a bit of a difference between what some people have access to versus other people. Even if they have access to the same computers and or mobile phones. It's more the utility, or how would they know how to use all of this. So what are your thoughts about this segmentation in the whole in the whole world? I think we're going to see some very distinctive differences between different countries, different people in different areas. What are your thoughts around that?
Let me share with you the dynamic going on in the U.S. Then I'll share you what's going
Lovely.
on globally. And the global piece is something because I've been doing personally or leading roadmap development for corporations with mobile and social around the world. But let's start with the U.S. because it's easy to digest. I was in front of, I went to Villanova. I'm on the board of the business school, and I was there with a whole bunch of CEOs and senior players, most of which were probably over age 40. And everybody's talking about business dynamics and interest rates and all the things that are important. And I said, what about mobile and social? How are you grasping as a corporation with the social media and what's going on? How are your executives in their 40s, 50s, and 60s doing? And one of the CEOs up on the panel came back, and very progressive apparel company, he came back and he said, Patrick, you're exactly right. Matter of fact, we've got people in our 30s that don't even get social. He said it's a big challenge for us, and yet the entire population has shifted to social and Facebook and mobile and other things because the consumer is moving really quick. And so one of the conclusions out of the collective group was they need to take care of all those senior executives or mid-level executives that really don't understand it, and they need to train them. And the point that I made to them was, you've got a whole generation of kids that don't have jobs right now in their 20s. And they could be picking up jobs and helping you train your executives on mobile and social and what's going on with digital and gaming, etc. And they all concluded, wow, what a great idea. We could hire some of those young students to come in, mix them with our senior executives or seasoned executives. So that's a dynamic that's going on generationally, right? Now, there are a lot of baby boomers that are getting there very quickly because they've got their smartphone or their iPad, and they're learning really quickly. So I have hope that that's all coming, and it's coming quick with apps and different things. So in the U.S., you've got, and there's an income dynamic too. There are lower price point smartphones that are getting there now, that are getting to everybody, particularly young adults, and gradually it's making it across the population. There are a lot of haves that have got the really fancy Apple iPads and the latest iPads. Nonetheless, the whole population is getting into the new smartphone technology. 55% this past June of phone owners had smartphones, right? By next spring, it'll be up to 72%. So at that point, everybody, for the most part, has got a smartphone. Now, let me tell you where that will take us. As that starts to move and people start to get apps, and they're on Facebook mobile, right? You now have a population that's very savvy to fairly decent knowledge of smartphones. So companies have to step forward and be there with people because they expect them. Let me take you over to global, what's happening. In China, right now, there are approximately 10% of the households have PCs. Here in the States, we've got PCs, multiple PCs in every household. Over there, for most people, 90% of the population, the first time that they're going to have an internet experience it's going to be on a smartphone. It's not going to be on a PC. There's a whole leapfrog effect that's happening in many of the developing countries around the world, where husband and wife and the child, at night, they've got a little smartphone and they're looking at the internet for the first time ever. So that's going to shift the game. They project that by 2015, almost 1 billion smartphones will be sold in China. Now, those might be low-end Samsung phones or China Telecom at a different price point, but people will be on the internet.
And socially connected.
And socially. You know, for example, you think here in the U.S. that we're pretty savvy on Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook. Even your grandmother's on Facebook. In Brazil, the penetration and the usage of social is double what it is here in the U.S. So there's some really interesting dynamics going on around the world with mobile social and this new one that's coming, which is local and retail combined.
The lovely thing of what's happening is, again, we were talking about space and time in a way. If that won't make a big difference, then we can be connected with most people at any time from around the globe.
Well, I'm gonna share with you what motivates people. There is an app that we developed about 2 years back called Knocking, and it was an idea that a couple of us had, and we started to build it. We built it with my old company, SourceBits. Matter of fact, that's how I actually went to India to be president of SourceBits, was that we were working, we were kind of the marketing group working on Knocking. Knocking was an idea which was, smartphones came out, the ability to go like this. I touch my phone, and let's say you're in Miami and I'm in London at the U2 concert, and I go, I'm going to share this with Gaby, and I go like this, and I touch your number, and you hear a knock knock. You look down on your phone and there's Patrick knocking. You accept. I'm showing you live, broadcasting, Bono on stage, all the way back live, and you're picking up the whole concert, right? Now, that was the first app that we developed. We didn't even have to promote that. Once it came out, people were our advocates, and we had 3 million downloads in the first year. It grew faster than Twitter and Foursquare, right? And that little bit of technology was driven by an insight that 82% of people hunger to share their moments every day with their family and their friends. So if your daughter has a birthday, you want to share that moment. And that insight helped us create this technology, short form, mobile to mobile, live video. And so that's an example of how things are shifting. And out of that comes opportunity.